how did you learn about David Koresh's message? Was it when Steve was there or when David was there?
I learned about it through, because I was a member of the Manchester SDA Church, and I learned of it through a newsletter, saying that there's a man that's claiming he can interpret the Bible for our time. And this is how I came to know about him. And they told me to, like, claiming that, I should avoid him. But some people that had already been over there to see for themselves told me about this. And even though I was warned not to go, I wanted to go and find out for myself, to judge for myself, to give my own opinion of this man, not listen to what somebody else is saying. And this is how I came to meet him, because the first time I went over there was in 1990 with a few other people. And that's why I first met David Koresh.
Who's that?
Yeah. He's learned of the studies from them, and he went over, and he's one that told me about it, you see. And but I first spoke to Pauline Henry, then I spoke to Tony. Tony Henry mentioned that I'd be interested, and he asked me if I wanted to come to one of the studies. So then I came to one of the studies in Manchester, because they was having a house meeting in Manchester, a place called Wally Range, Manchester, and that's how I went to one of the studies. Then from that, I went over to Texas to meet David.
I see. And who was giving the study that you went to in Manchester?
Diane Henry.
Oh, yeah.
The first person I spoke to about it was Pauline Henry.
Yes, okay. And so when you went in 1990, did you go for Passover?
No, I just went over to learn of this guy, and I stayed there for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And then I returned back to England. And when I told you, that's when he told me to, when I go back, read this book of Cyrus the Great.
Oh, yes. We talked about that book. Okay. Mm-hmm. I have it right here. Yes. Now, the reason why he told me to read it is because even though I never got a chance to read it, because there was only one copy in Manchester, and that was stolen from the library. Mm-hmm. And there was only one more copy in London. So, because it talks about Cyrus the Great bringing down the fall of ancient Babylon, mm-hmm. so this modern day Cyrus or Koresh is to bring down the fall of modern Babylon, and I think this is the reason that's a connection. Yeah.
Because Cyrus the Great led the Jews out of captivity, didn't he?
Well, he released them from captivity, yes. And
that's right, released them back to their own land and just keep the commandments. And I've not read the full story.
Yeah, no, he gave them some kind of financial, some form of wealth, so that they could go back to Jerusalem and rebuild the temple. And so the book that David asked you to read is titled Cyrus the Great by Harold Lamb, or at least we figured that out.
I think I said it was 1963, but you said it's 63.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because I think there was only, they probably done modern day copies of them, but like I think at the time the original copy it was rare.
Yeah, now it's rare, because I looked for it, and I got a copy, one for you and one for me, and it was not easy to find. I think I got it from some used bookstore outlet.
I've started reading it, but I've only read about 4 or 5 pages so far.
Okay. But the main point is that Cyrus the Great defeated the Babylon of ancient times, and that David Koresh is Cyrus for today. He had that Koresh.
Yeah, the modern day Cyrus or Koresh, because that in the Hebrew Bible Cyrus translates to Koresh.
Yes. Okay.
Because the reason why it says Babylon is fallen, because it was fallen ancient Babylon, but then David will tell us, well, is Babylon really dead? It's still alive. The spirit of Babylon is still alive today.
Oh, I see.
So it's the same mindset, but a different generation.
It's the same what?
Mindset,
I see.
But a different generation.
I see. same mindset for today as it was back then. And
that's right. So when I learned of all these mysteries, these prophecies that was explained, and I was saying to myself, if this is true, do you know what it means? Because it's serious and it's scary. And I learned more in that 2 weeks about the prophecies than I did 7 years in the SDA church. So a lot of things were coming more clearer to me. These, a lot of my questions was being answered that could not be answered by the ministers. So when I after 2 weeks I came back, and I was like wrestling with it in my mind. Sometimes I couldn't sleep proper at night, and it's like for 2 years I was wrestling with it, and I went back after 2 years.
Okay.
So I went back in 1992.
Okay, and did you go back for the Passover in 1992?
No, not specifically. I just went back. That was a holistic flight with about 10 of us. And at this time, I'm saying to myself, I'm staying now. I'm not coming back.
Okay. So you went back with about 10 people? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. And
we went from Heathrow Airport because it was cheaper to go fly from there in London.
I see. And so
excuse me.
So sure. So the big building was built by then, and
that's right.
All right.
I outbuilt the swimming pool and the gym.
Oh, nice.
Because what we did, we extended the lake and made it into 2.
I see. So you extended the lake also?
Yeah, because it was 1 and we extended it into 2.
Into 2.
Yeah, pump water from it to
get water for use?
No, that was just to extend it for the fish and the turtles, and we just made it bigger.
Oh, I see. That's nice. It looks beautiful. It's in the springtime. It's beautiful out there. In the summertime, it's very
I wish
hot.
I could go.
I know. So why can't you go?
Well, number one, I've got to really find out if surely I must be okay to come over now. After 30 years, I'm not a threat to them or anything. So I just got a bad experience last time. I got ATF and FBI came and was questioning me and another person. And I went with my brother when I went over for deposition, and they gave us a hard time. I
And so they were giving you a hard time when you came in through customs, and did you come in?
Yeah. When I come back to England, after it was all over, and then I came over with Tony McCallum for the memorial, and he stopped us. We came through Philadelphia, and he stopped us and gave us a hard time and started saying he's going to be a leader and looking for me a Bible, looking for some code, and handcuffed me to the radiator and all this lot and give me a hard time, and sent the FBI and the ATF.
So after you got finished with all that, did you get on the plane and go back to England?
No, what they did, they took it to the detention center.
Wow.
They let us in Philadelphia and put us on the first plane available back to Great Britain, and marched us through the airport in the afternoon. Me and Tony handcuffed between 2 FBI agents.
And you had not done anything wrong, right? There were no charges.
No. Yeah. They just were suspicious. I mean, don't forget it was 9/11 as well had happened. Just after that, we went.
Oh, it was just after 9/11. I see.
Right. But still, I don't justify them treating us like that.
No. You were not convicted, so you never spent time in prison.
No, just material witness. But wasn't convicted of any charge, no.
Yeah, you were never charged with anything. You were a material witness. So, yeah, I'm sorry you went through that, but maybe you...
I know a lot of people have said that,
Yeah, there for everything that happened in 1993.
Yeah, that's right.
I see. Okay. Well, after the fire... Well, first of all, did you have any burns from the fire?
Yeah, I got a burn on my right forearm, second-degree burns.
Okay. You came out the hole in the side of the chapel where...
That's right. That's correct.
All right. Yeah, I think 4 men came out there.
We came out there with with Dave Thibodeau and I think Amy Costello.
Yeah, he died quite a few years ago. After he got out of prison. It was.
I had a very vivid dream as well.
And where were you when you had that dream?
I was in England when I had this dream. This was after I came back to England.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about your dream?
I was in a bar. This was a dream, and I was sat between two females, right? And I was having a drink, and I wasn't talking to the females. I was just sat there, and then somebody tapped his hand on my shoulder, and I turned around, and it was David Koresh. And he told me to follow him, right? And he took me to this room, and all them people that had died at Waco was there, and he said, "We've been waiting for you, Derek." And then and they ended. I saw them all alive.
So that was right after you came back to England, from
a few like months after.
And what year did you come back to England?
I came back to England. That was in '93, wasn't it?
Yes.
So I can't remember the exact date. But I was in McLennan County Jail for 7 months. And then how I got out was my father died, right? I'll explain it. My father came over to see me first. So I was like, thank God that God allowed me to see my dad before he passed away. Yes. So obviously when I first was incarcerated, they came over and saw me and they stayed for a while. And then they went back to England and they came back again. And they actually let me out of the cell to see my father, and my 2 brothers were there. So when he went back to England now, I learned that he died. And that's when they released me. And they just put me on the sidewalk. They said, "You're free to go." And I thought, just a moment. I don't know if you heard that. He said, "I'm free to go." But free to go where? They had a shirt and jeans on and some white socks and some plastic sandals, right? And put me on the sidewalk with my little belongings. So I had to phone Rita Riddle. And she come and pick me up. She said, "They just put you out there." They've not even said, "Have you got anywhere to go? Do you know anyone to contact?" I said, "No." And I live 6,000 miles away in Great Britain.
Yeah.
Where did they expect me to go?
Yes.
They didn't even ask me if I got anyone to phone. Is anybody? They just put me on the sidewalk.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you were being harassed, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
And also when you tried to come in for the memorial. But so you were in 7 months in McLennan County Jail to be a material witness. You were not charged with anything.
No.